Hello there everyone, welcome to the channel Jersey's Train Plane Lift Adventures. I hope you're all okay, and welcome to the rediscovery of the original number 8 route going from Wollaston Farm to Wrens Estate, and also the X96, which was the number before the number 8. And the X96 ran from Wollaston Farm to Wrens Estate, calling at Stourbridge, Merryhill Centre and Dudley. And it changed to the 8 in 2018, September, following the review of the Samuel and Dudley number changes. And then in 2020, the 8 was rerouted from Wrens to run Wollaston Farm to Wolverhampton. And the X96 and the original number 8 was operated by Pensnet Depot, but by the time the route was rerouted to Wolverhampton, it was transferred to Wolverhampton Depot, from where it interworked with the X8 service from Wolverhampton to Birmingham. And so anyway, here we go, we're going around Wollaston Farm on the number 8 route, and the number 8 is worked by Platinum buses, which includes the free Wi-Fi, the USB ports to charge your mobile phone, and also the next stop announcements as well. It tells you what, and the next stop announcements tell you what the name of the next stop is, and also it tells you the route you're on and where and which direction the bus is heading for. So anyway, here we go. We just left Wollaston Farm and we're coming into Wollaston area, where we'll first serve Wollaston Junction and then we will head into Stourbridge Interchange. And Wollaston is served by the number 8 route from Wollaston Farm to Wolverhampton, the 7 from Wollaston Junction to Dudley, and of course the 25 from Stourbridge to Dudley. And of course you've got the 242 service that goes from Stourbridge to Kimver via Wollaston and the Hyperion. And the Hyperion is to the right of me. The 25 route is operated by Diamond. The 8 and the 7 are operated by National Express West Midlands, while the 242 service is operated by Select Bus Services, and that used to be the old Hanson's and Diamond 2 to 8 route that used to run from Russell's Hall Hospital to Kimver via Merryhill. But the Merryhill section was cut off in 2020 from when Green Bus introduced the 242 service. And the Green Bus 242 service did run to Merryhill for a short time, and then it was shortened to Stourbridge. And then the 242 the following year was passed on from the Green Bus Company to Select Bus Services, and Select Bus Services have carried on doing the service ever since. So anyway, here we go. We're now coming into Wollaston on the number 8 route, and so we're on our way into Wollaston, and then we will head on to Stourbridge. So we will head on to Stourbridge on the number 8, and then after that we will then head towards and then we will head on to the Merryhill. So we'll then head on to Merryhill once we've gone through Stourbridge, and then we will go on to Dudley, and that will be the last leg of the journey to go up to Wrens Nest. And so anyway, here we are coming up to so this is Wollaston right now. So we're now in Wollaston, and Wollaston Junction is the start and the terminus point for the 7. So this is where the 7 starts and terminates, and then the 7 goes up to Dudley. And the 7 is operated by Pensnet Depot. It was operated by Wolverhampton Depot between 2021 and of course 2022. And when Wolverhampton did the service, it interworked with the 82 service from Dudley to Wolverhampton via Bilston. And the main vehicles that you that were on the 82 and the 7 was the Volvo B7 RLEs, the Tridents, and of course the ADL Enviro 400s. And also Platinum's made appearance on the route as well. So anyway, we've just gone past St James's Church in Wollaston. And of course we also passed an ADL Enviro 200 operated by Select Bus Services. And that's working the 242 service towards Kimver. And when you get to Kimver, there's actually a connection to the Diamond Bus 580 service that runs twice a day, Tuesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, to Kidderminster via Wolverley. And that takes you under the Diamond Worcestershire network. And this network is the Diamond West Midlands network, so we'll be heading into Stourbridge now. And Stourbridge, you've got connections to other routes, which don't even serve Wollaston, with compared to the 242, the 8, and the 7 and the 25. And Stourbridge, you've got the connection with the number 9 to Halzone in Birmingham. And of course, you've got the 142 and 142A that goes from Merry Hill to Halzone. And of course, you've got the you've got other routes as well. You've got the 318 that goes from Stourbridge to Bromsgrove. The 88 Stourbridge to the Norton Estate. And of course, you've got the 6 from Stourbridge up to Dudley, along with the 17. Of course, you've got the 16 to Wolverhampton via Wombourne. And of course, you have the and of course you've got the 125 service that goes to Kidderminster and onto Bridge North. And of course you've got the railway line as well. You've got the shuttle train that goes up to Stourbridge Junction to provide connections with train services to Worcester, Kidderminster, Birmingham, Solihull, and of course Stratford upon Avon. So anyway, we're now entering the ring road now in Stourbridge. So we're going to go around the ring road and then we will head into Stourbridge Interchange. So we'll be on our way into Stourbridge Interchange. And going straight ahead, that is where the 6, the 16, and of course you've got the 57 as well that goes from Stourbridge to Woolheath, Briarscroft as well. And up there is where the routes go towards Woolheath, Dudley and all that via Ordnham. And so anyway, we're continuing on our journey around the ring road, and on the right hand side is the Costa Coffee, the KFC and the McDonald's. So there's the McDonald's right up ahead, and then on the right hand side is the Wilkinson store, which is sadly closing down unfortunately, along with all the other Wilko stores. And so anyway, here we are coming into Stourbridge Town Centre, and in front of me is a Volvo B7 RLE with a right Eclipse urban body working the number 6 service up to Dudley, which used to be numbered the 246. So that's on its way to Dudley, and here we are, we're now arriving at Stourbridge Interchange. So we're just now arriving at the interchange in Stourbridge. So we're going to go up this slope and then head into the station. So we'll be on our way into the station right now. So here we go. We're now going into the station building here at Stourbridge. And so anyway, here we go. We're now approaching the stand. So there's a Optare Solo SR working the 142 service. That's heading to the Merry Hill Shopping Centre. And so here we are now at Stourbridge Interchange. So we just arrived at Stourbridge Interchange. So here we are at Stourbridge Interchange. So the next part of the journey, we'll be heading now for Merry Hill. So we'll be heading for Merry Hill right now. So anyway, here we go, leaving the bus station right now on the number 8 and also the Rediscovery of the old X96 route. So here we go, and so we're now on our way to Merry Hill now. So we're now by the Premier Inn Hotel. So there's the Premier Inn in front of me. So the Premier Inn is right in front, and of course there's the Brewer's Pair pub that's attached to it as well. As most Premier Inn hotels do have a Brewer's Pair. Some of them also have a beefeater, while the others actually have their own restaurant inside called Time. and of course some of them have got table as well. And so here we go, we're just waiting for further clearance before we can proceed on to Merry Hill. So I'm just waiting at the junction for clearance, and the clearance is now clear. So here we go, we're now on our way towards the Merry Hill Shopping Centre. So we're on our way to the Merry Hill Shopping Centre. So there's the Brewers Fayre pub right there, and there's the gym, because there's a gym right here as well on the left hand side. And of course there was a car wash right there on the left. And going straight is where the 9 goes towards Light, Halesowen and Birmingham. And that goes under the viaduct as well. And so anyway, here we go. We're now going up the Penfields. Now, as you probably know, the 8 is the only service that is serving the Penfields now, as this was also served by other routes. The 250 and 251, the Merry Hill Circulars, those routes got dropped at the end of last year, 2022, from when it got replaced by the 25 route. The 25 is operated by Diamond Kidderminster, and Kidderminster operate 3 vehicles on the route. There is a 4th vehicle on that route, but however, that is run from Tividale. So Tividale have the 1 vehicle on the 25, and of course they run the 25 on the evenings and of course Sundays. And the evening and Sunday journey just only runs between Merry Hill and Dudley. It does not continue on to Stourbridge. So the 8 is the only service that crosses this point. Now, of course, the 242 service did cover this part back in 2020, but that was only on a trial basis, as the 242 just only serves Kimver and Stourbridge. And of course the 228 used to come along here as well up until 2020. And of course you did have the 296 route, that was the early morning only service that ran from Stourbridge to Brockmore. And then that journey went on to the 228 to Kimver, and it was on all day. And so anyway, we're now going across the Penfields on the number 8, and also the which we are rediscovering to Wrens Nest, and of course when it was also numbered the old X96. So anyway, here we go. We're now on our way towards Dudley via the Merry Hill Shopping Centre. So I hope you enjoy my videos once again on Joe's Bus Train Plane Lift Adventures. Shout out to Black Country Traveller who enjoys my videos. You should check out this route, the number 8, even if you want to do the full service towards Wollaston Farm. So anyway, here we go. We're now on our way towards Merry Hill and then on towards Dudley. Okay then, here we are. We're now by Corbett Hospital on the number 8. So there's Corbett Hospital right there, and we'll be on our way now towards so I'll be on our way towards the Merry Hill now. So I'll be on our way towards Merry Hill. And so as you probably know, when the 242 came up here, when it came to the top of this road, instead of turning right where the 228 went, it did a left turn and served with more Sainsbury's. And it was shared mostly with the 28 route, which is now known as the 142 and the 142A. And the 28 route was introduced in 2018 by NXWM to replace the Diamond Bus 287, which ran from Stourbridge to Merry Hill, and of course the 14 from Brierley Hill to the Fatherless Barn. NXWM did not cover Brierley Hill High Street on that route, and it didn't even cover Duns Bank on the 14. And the route was actually extended towards Halesowen to replace the former Sunday and night time 142 service from from Stourbridge to Alzoin, and now that part has been replaced once again by the 142, but numbered the 142I, because as you know there's a 142I now as well as the 142. But however, it's on the 142 corridor. So anyway, here we go. We're now at we're now near Peters Hill on the number 8. So Merry Hill's going to be coming up soon, and then we will continue on our journey up to Dudley, and then after Dudley we'll then head up the Renner. So we'll then head up the Renner, and then we will terminate the journey at Wrens Nest. So I hope you're all good and enjoy my videos. So anyway, here we go. We're now coming up Peters Hill. So we're now coming up towards Peters Hill. So we're now coming up towards Peters Hill on the number 8. So we're now heading up towards Peters Hill. And so we're now heading up Peters Hill on the number 8. So anyway, we've now gone through Peters Hill, and we'll be coming up now. So we'll be going on the Amblecote Road. So we'll be crossing the Amblecote Road, and once we've gone across the Amblecote Road, we'll then head towards. So once we've gone across the Amblecote Road, we'll then head towards the Merry Hill Shopping Centre. So we'll then be heading towards the Merry Hill Shopping Centre. So here we go. We're now going up the slope now on the number 8. And so anyway, we've just now gone up the slope. So we've just gone past the Birch Tree pub. So we've just gone past the Birch Tree. And so just gone past the Birch Tree. And then... So anyway, this is the Amblecote Road, so we're in a straight line towards the Merry Hill Shopping Centre. So we're on our way to the Merry Hill, and then we will head up towards Dudley. So this is the routes came across here before. So you had the X96, the 296, the 250, 251 and the 228. And then the number 8 was replaced by, then the 8... then the X96 was renumbered the 8. 296 was then dropped in 2018, leaving the 8, 250, 251 and the 228. Then the 228 got dropped sadly in 2020, leaving the 8, 250 and 251. And then the 250, 251 got dropped at the end of last year. So you just got the 8 coming across here now. So you only got National Express on the Amblecote Road. So if you needed to get on the Diamond service to head towards Stourbridge, you have to get the 142A and the 25 route from Merry Hill bus station. And we will be joining up with the 142 and 142A when we come to the next junction, when we come to the roundabout. So we'll be coming to the roundabout shortly. So here we go. We're now on our way towards the Merry Hill. So the 142 and 142A is going to be joining up with us in a minute. So the 142 and 142A will soon be joining up with us, and that is going to take us into the Merry Hill. And so here we go. We are now coming up to the roundabout. So the 142 and 142A is now joined up with us. And so Diamond is now once again back on the old 287 corridor. Since they quit the corridor back in 2018 from when NXWM took it over as the 28 and was extended onto Alzoin. And now the 142 and 142A have replaced it, still running to Alzoin but in the opposite direction. Instead of going from Merry Hill, instead of going from the Merry Hill end to Alzoin, it goes to Stourbridge then on to Alzoin, because that part which the 28 used to cover is now withdrawn. So that part of the route is now withdrawn. And so here we go. We're now on our way so we're now on our way into Merry Hill, and so there's an Enviro 400 MMC Platinum bus that's working the X10 from Birmingham to Gornal Wood. So that's running the X10 from Birmingham to Gornal, which is operated by NXWM Pensnet Depot, and the X10's run from Pensnet. Same with the 9. So the only Pensnet Birmingham routes they've got now is the 9, the X10 and the 126. And the 126 used to run to Wolverhampton, which the 8 follows with the X8. And the 126, when it went to Wolverhampton, was operated by Wolverhampton Park Lane Garage. So Park Lane Garage actually operates this route. And so Park Lane Wolverhampton have a lot of routes, and also Pensnet have a lot of routes, and this year they had the 11 and the 11A Dudley to Walsall off Walsall Depot, because Walsall had done the 11 and the 11A for a long time, but however Pensnet now do the 11 and the 11A. The only Dudley End routes that Walsall do is the 4M from Walsall to Merry Hill, and of course the 4H from Walsall to Hayley Green. So we're now at the Merry Hill. So welcome to Merry Hill, and the next leg of the journey is going to be up towards Dudley. So in front is a street deck, and that's working the 002 service from Wheelie Castle into Merry Hill. And I will be talking about some changes regards to the routes coming up once they're revealed, because there is quite a few changes that is going on with services, and I'll let you know when all the changes will get revealed as soon as possible. So please bear that in mind with all these changes that's happening to all these routes, because there's going to be some changes coming up. And so here we go. We're now on our way towards Dudley, and then on to the Renner. So just enjoy the journey up to the Renner. Okay then guys, we're now departing from Merry Hill bus station to Dudley bus station. So here we go, we're now leaving the Merry Hill shopping centre, and this part of the route which we'll be covering used to be known as the 264 and the 265. And the 264 and 265 was the old Merry Hill to Dudley circular routes. So they were circular routes, and they were operated by Travel West Midlands. As you know, NXWM used to be known as Travel. West Midlands, and of course you had Travel Merry Hill. And so the 264 route covered one way, while the 265 covered the opposite. These days, the routes are now known as the 8 and, of course, the 226. And the 264, the vehicles they put on was Volvo B6s LEs, Wright Crusaders, in case you remember the good days of the Wright Crusaders, the B6s, and, of course, the old B10s. And, of course, they also put on the Leyland Lynx vehicles. And they put the Leyland Lynxes on, in case you remember the Lynxes. And, of course, they also put on the Metro buses, in case you also remember the Metro buses. And they were good days. And they were the good days when they put Metro buses on most of the National Express West Midlands vehicles. And, of course, they put on a Volvo B10M vehicle on as well. The Volvo B10 was actually on the 243 route. And that was also branded as Travel Merry Hill. And moving on to the X96 days. And the X96 was worked by the Volvo B7 RLEs, but before the Volvo B7 RLEs came along, they were worked by Crusaders. They were also worked by the Mercedes-Benz 0405N, in case you remember those days, the old Mercedes. And of course they put on Volvo MCV Evolutions, B7 Evolution 2s. And of course, during the Christmas sales in 2016, they put on the Platinum buses. And the route is now worked by Platinums, as you can see today. And so we're just going along the waterfront right now. And but the main vehicles that were mainly on the X96 were the Volvo B7 RLA right eclipse urban bodied vehicles, and they actually received branding for the route. They were branded as the X96, and it was yellow, and the colour for the branding was yellow. And of course, ADL Enviro 200s made appearance on the X96. So there's been ADL Enviro 200s on. There's also been Tridents. Tridents have made appearances on the X96, and of course there has been a Trident that has appeared on the 8 on the afternoons when the rush hour began to start up. And I have bashed a lot of Trident vehicles over the last few years, and of course the Tridents are slowly coming to an end of their days. But however, they are lovely buses to ride. And of course they also put on Enviro 400 MMC buses, which used to make appearances on the 9 route before the 9 was upgraded to Platinums. So there's been those vehicles on. So there has been some good vehicles on the X96 over the years. And so anyway, we're on our way to Renner. So we're on our way to the Renner right now. And of course the Mercedes vehicles were also branded for the X96. And Monday to Saturday daytime, it was up to 20 minutes, I think. I believe it was up to every 20 minutes on that corridor when back in the day of the X96. And of course they also put on the older type Enviro 400s on when they were originally at Pensnet before they moved over to West Brom. And now most of them have moved back to Pensnet to replace all the old Tridents. And of course they did used to put on the Y-Reg Tridents, TOHs. So there's been those vehicles on over the years, and so there has been a good selection of vehicles on the X96 over the years. And Travel West Midlands did some good routes over the years. They did do the 53 route, in case you remember that one, that used to run from Merrill to West Brom via Bearwood, and that was a very, very long route. And so anyway, we're coming up to Woodside right now, so we're coming up the Woodside area. So we're now coming up to Woodside. So this is Woodside, and so we're now over at Woodside. So this is Woodside. And our journey is going to then continue towards... so our journey will soon be continuing towards Dudley and the Renner. So we'll be on our way to the Renner next. And of course you have the sister route to the X96. Well, it wouldn't be classed as a sister route, but also runs from Wollaston to Dudley. And that was the 276, which is now today's number 7. And so the 7. Now the 7 route was worked by the Mercedes vehicles, and of course Volvo B7 RLE right eclipse urban bodied vehicles. And of course they did put on the AGL Enviro 200s, and of course the Crusaders have been on the route as well. And also they put on double deckers, and even when it was transferred over to Wolverhampton, it was allocated to double decked vehicles as well. So there's been double deckers on the 276 over the years, and even when it changed to the number 7. And so anyway, here we go. We're going across Woodside, and then we will be heading into Dudley Bus Station. So we'll be heading towards Dudley Bus Station, and then we will continue on our journey towards the Renner. So we'll be heading towards the Renner next on the 276, not the 276, the Rediscovery, the X96. So there was some great videos. So there were some great routes over the years under Travel West Midlands. So Travel West Midlands had loads of good routes over the years. Most of them are changed to other services, but there are still some historic routes that survive to this day, with the likes of the old X96 and of course the old 276. So there's been some good routes over those last few years. So there will be more videos yet to come on this YouTube channel, which is of course Joe's Bus Train Plane Lift Adventures. And Joe's Bus Train Plane Lift Adventures has done really well so far, so let's continue with the success of the channel in the next few days. So we will continue with more vlogs real soon. So anyway, we're now coming up to Pegasus Island. So we're now coming up to Pegasus Island, where the iconic Pegasus horse sits. And of course we're now going to be joined up with the 6th route, which used to be numbered the 246, the Stourbridge to Dudley. And of course the 226 service comes up here as well. And of course the Hansons did do an X26 competing with the X96, but however that got withdrawn because of the X96 picking up a lot of passengers. And so here we go. We are now on our way to Dudley now, so we'll be heading to the heart of Dudley, and then we'll head to Wrens Nest. So we'll head to the Wrens Nest area next. So we will then head up to Wrens Nest. So we'll head up the Wrens Nest next. So we'll head up Wrens Nest. And so here we go. We're now heading up towards Wrens Nest. Well, we're heading into Dudley Town first. And coming into view shortly will be Top Church, St Thomas's. And of course you have St Edmund's Church, which is known as Bottom Church. And Dudley did have loads of stores over the years. They had a Beatty's department store, and of course they had a Wilkinson's. Well, they still have Wilkinson's, but that's not going to be in Dudley for long, because as you know, Wilko's entered administration recently and most of their stores are closing. And some of them have been bought out, but some may never open again. Well, I know most have been sold off, but while the others will just shut for good. So here we go. We're now on our way to Dudley now. So we're on our way to Dudley, and so this is the terminus of the route. Well, not the terminus of the route. The next part of the route is going to be where we'll terminate the journey. So we'll be terminating our journey at Wrens Nest. So anyway, there's the Asda. So there's Asda right there in Dudley. And so we'll be heading up towards the Renner next on the number 8. So we'll be heading on towards Wrens Nest Estate on the number 8. So then guys, we're now coming into Dudley on the number 8, the old X96 and the 8 rediscovered, Wollaston Farm to Wrens Nest. And so there's the old co-op building, the old co-op department store. And then we will continue on our journey up to the Renner to complete the final journey. So I hope you enjoyed my videos here on the channel, Joe's Bus Train Plane Lift Adventures. And please be sure to hit the subscribe button if you liked my videos. So here we go, we're on our way to the Renner right now. So we're on our way to the Renner. but we'll be terminating first at so we'll be heading first to Dudley bus station, and then we will head towards the Wrens. So we'll head towards the Wrens. So I will let you know when I'll be uploading more vlogs on this YouTube channel, Joe's Bus Train Plane Lift Adventures, and so more videos are coming on the channel real soon, so please keep your eyes peeled for that on this channel. So here we go, we're now on our way to Dudley bus station. So we're on our way to Dudley bus station. So here's the Churchill precinct, and then we'll head into Dudley bus station. So here we go, we're now on our way into Dudley bus station. So we're just now at Dudley bus station, and we're now doing the section towards the Wrens. So we'll be on our way to the Wrens. So enjoy the journey. Okay then guys, here we go. We are now on our way towards Upper Gornal, Wren's Nest Estate, on the number 8, the rediscovery of the old X96. Now, as you probably know, we're doing this part here virtual because, as you probably know, I did film the 2A going across, but however, due to poor quality, I'm having to do this part virtual. And so here we go. We now we just turned right, and we're now going up Laurel Road on the last. So we're now on the last leg of the journey, and we're now heading up towards the Wrens. So we're now going up the Wrens. And so here we go. So we're now up Wren's Nest. So we're now up the Wren's Nest. Now here is the history of the bus stop. So the two routes that come across here. So the routes that you'll find up here is the 2A and of course the 82. Before that, it used to be the 207, the 283, the 544 and the 581. And that was back in 2009. By the time 2011 came along, it became the 82 and the X96. And that was between 2011 and, of course, 2019. Then the 81 replaced this part of the route. So the 81 partially replaced this part of the route, and then it changed to the and then after the 81 it then changed with to the twos. So anyway, we're just going to do the last leg of the journey round Renner. Okay, we're now on Maple Green. So we're now on Maple Green on the section of the old X96 route. So here we go. We're now coming up to Green Lane, which is where the X96 terminated, and this is also where the 2 and the 2A terminate. So here we are. We're now at Green Lane, Upper Gornal.